What about the Melbourne Renegades? I think this team is the most exciting because I feel like they're so different to every other team with the way that they're set up. I mean, there'll be games where they might make 50 and there might be games where they make 250. It's a power-packed batting lineup, Hodgie.
It's going to be unreal, actually. I was sort of in the backgrounds when I knew that Josh Brown was coming to the Renegades, and I thought this was actually, I think he was thinking of it before he made the 100 in the final. Or if not, there was talks around.
There've been people to talk around.
Yeah, so it was like, is he coming? Is he not? And then, we're scoring that amazing, I think it was 130 or something in the final. Surely he's not coming. And then, you hear these words that Josh Brown's showing up, and then you think of this real six-a-thon between him and Jake Fraser McGurk. It's going to be entertaining to watch. The only unknown for him and Jake a little bit is that, the wicket at Marvel is a little bit sort of, questionable. Not that it's a bad wicket, just that you're not sure what you're going to get, whether there can be a little bit of moisture, in the surface and which can make the ball move around. If a ball doesn't move around and it's a good surface, Marvel Stadium's a beautiful place for hitting sixes. And we are going to see a truckload of them from these two. So you mention it like it's
not even just those two.
Nah, it's Laurie Evans as well, who's got it's a jam packed heavy hitting batter. Yeah, Bethel in there as well, which is a really cool signing as well. So they've got the makings of a really good hard hitting batting unit, and it's different than everyone else's setup. So I like that. It's just found out that way, And then they've got let's change the tack. Let's not forget defense, but let's go aggressive and get the offense sorted out, and let's see what happens after that.
So when you rock up to play against the Renegades, Pete, how are you going to go about it?
Well, that's going to be the thing. They might dictate how you go about it because you could bowl them out for 50, but they could be going at 15 and over from the word go as well. So then how you're starting the game is going to be totally different to how you actually have to bowl. So, I think you're going to have to be on your toes against them because, they could go off and you'll be going defensive straight away and chopping around fields and chasing balls, and it could be a tough one. So you're going to have to be prepared against them, that's for sure. And obviously, we play the derby, don't we? We play it twice, so you're guaranteed to play them twice in both conditions, and it's going to be exciting, to play against, but to watch as well. Yeah, there's you got mates playing there and coaching there and stuff like that. It's going to be exciting games to watch. Hopefully, more so they're making those 250s not against us, and we'll see how we go. But
let's get the popcorn out when the Renegades are going out to bat. So, Hodge, you talked about hitting sixes at Marvel Stadium. It's a unique size ground in sense it's quite long straight.
Very long.
But I've seen you hit some big balls up into the upper deck square of the wicket. How do you talk us into that mindset of picking your spots to hit? I mean, it can be dangerous hitting square of the wicket if it's full, but how do you do it?
Well, it's a little bit like Adelaide Oval. You just have this beautiful, attractive, short boundary square of the wicket, and you can't keep your eyes off it for the whole time you're out there batting, and then you're just sort of looking for particular balls in your hitting zone. That
length
you can actually,
or line?
More length, actually. You want the length where you can sort of get under it. And that's the little tricky thing about the marble pitch is that sometimes in the past, not so much the last 2 years, but previous to that, it could actually just keep a fraction low. So that's where you're vulnerable sort of hitting square of the wicket. But I'm just thinking more of Jake Fraser McGurk, not myself. So he's just looking for the length ball where he can sort of get under it and paste it into that mid-wicket boundary. And same with Josh Brown. So he'll probably have to adjust a little bit because batting at the Gabba, well, that's quite the opposite, where straight is very short and attractive, and that feels like a kiddie hitting over mid-on that sometimes to changing that style. So he might have to adjust a little bit there, but I'm sure he'll be able to do it. So it's one of those professional things where good players adjust well. So it's like Pete, when he plays at the MCG, will get the ball into the wicket. When he goes to Adelaide, well, he nails the Yorkers because that's the defensive part down the ground. You've got all that space where you want the player to hit it. So good players find a way and they adapt. The Renegades as well, those players coming there will certainly see that short boundary and hope it's not a distraction straight away. But a lot of people know how to play it.
I'm just so glad you're saying this because us park cricketers, we think that every ball. It's good to know that you think it as well.
No, it's there. It's there.
So Cameron White, you know Cameron so well. You played so much cricket with him. As a coach, I don't think anyone knows how he's going to go or what he's going to be as a coach. But from knowing him as you do, how do you think he'll go about it?
Well, this is the horrible thing about coaching is that your hands are in you're determined by other people, aren't you? It's in the hands of actually your playing group. No matter how well you perform, it's all on them. So for me, I think this is a really good appointment. Like I was holding my fingers tight, hoping that Cameron would get that job. And I know it was hotly contested and I'm glad he got it. What I think he'll bring to the table is it's a slightly newer group as well with Finch and Marsh going out and a few others. He'll be able to bring his own experiences into that dressing room. And then I think he'll do a great job. I think he's a very well-educated coach now. He's done a lot of work on his coaching skills and I think it'll be a seamless transition into a head coaching role. He's had a great preparation watching Shippy up at the Sixers and seeing how good sides roll. So, yeah, I think he'll do really well.
Sid, you played with him. He captained you from a strategic point of view. Do you think that's going to be his advantage as a coach with how he sees the game?
Yeah, I think that's working with him when, obviously he was at Adelaide Strikers with me when I was there, when he sort of first started moving into that sort of coaching role and just seeing how he works with individuals. And I think that's the best is, helping individuals prepare, but from his strategic knowledge of the game. And I think that's what helped, Shorty's probably the perfect example. He worked with Shorty so much in those first few years at the Strikers to the player he is now, just with little things, knowledge of fields, the game, how it moves. That's what I see, getting individuals prepared really well, knowing their roles and how they go about it. His knowledge of the game, and especially the T20 game, someone that played a lot of it around the world that, very smart tactically. He'll obviously pass on that very well. Obviously, yes, Southo young captain.
Well, I was going to ask you. I mean, we talked about Cam captaining Australia in T20 cricket. To help a young captain in Will, that would have to be another advantage.
That'd be a huge advantage, I think, and probably a bit of an advantage for Cam as well, having a young captain, because you can't control the game when they're out there, but you can control how you prepare him as a captain. And I think Will's obviously always listening. He's a sponge. He takes that in that, Cam will be able to mould it to a way that he wants it, and then Will put his spin on it. I think it gives him a bit more control than he probably get at most teams. We'll see how it plays out. But it's going to be exciting coming up against him.
All right, Hodgie, where have you got the team in red?
Look, a key player for them to be successful is Kane Richardson. So if he has a good tournament and bowls well and is fully fit, then I've got him finishing second. I've got a Melbourne Derby final, actually.
Right.
Yeah, I got Stars.
There'll be a lot of
Renegades.
people that are going to think this is very biased, sort of.
Oh no, it's not. It is wishful thinking, that's for sure, and there is a little bit of bias in that. But it's more. I wouldn't have said it last year, but I can say it with some confidence this year that it actually could happen because they're two pretty good teams.
Sids, where you have the Renegades.
Yeah, I think they're going to be competitive. I think, I'm with Hodgie. They got a good list. It probably does come down to the bowling group a little bit. Yes, the batting could be a bit up and down depending on how the bowlers, I think last year I was there and we probably just couldn't, get going with the ball. Richo, Tommy Rogers, Zamps, probably all didn't have their best years, which can be very dangerous because they'll have a lot to prove and want to turn things around. So, if those three get going, they're three of the best in the competition, aren't they, when they're up at their best? So, if they're firing, doesn't matter as much how many runs the team makes because, they're going to have the bowlers to defend or just, clean teams up. So, they're going to be, if at their best, they're definitely one of the best.